My name is Elisa Irma.
And I am Robert. And the movie we're reviewing today is 2018's Mandy by Panos Cosmatos, which sounds like a made-up name, but it's not. What's it about?
It's about a couple who lives in a forest, and then their dreams and their lives get turned upside down by weird demon bikers and a bunch of hippie
Jesus freaks.
Jesus freaks.
Religious nuts.
Yeah.
The couple, Andrea Riseborough, plays Mandy, title character, and her boyfriend, or maybe husband, is played by none other than Nick Cage. Now, Nick Cage, he's been in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Andrea,
I've never seen her before.
So they made her look super plain.
Yeah.
And arguably ugly they just flattened her face with, there's like no makeup.
Mm-mm.
And they gave her a little scar.
Yeah.
A big scar actually on her face. I think her natural attractiveness still shines through. She's an attractive woman, but she definitely I use the expression, they ugg her up, for this film. Now, the head of the religious cult is played by Linus Roach. And it's a name I don't recognize, but it's a face I recognize. He's done a lot of TV. In particular, he was on Vikings. But I recognized him from, he has a supporting role in the movie The Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh.
He plays the guy he's the other Furion that isn't Riddick, if that helps.
I've never seen it.
2 hours and 1 minute long.
It was a long movie. It felt long to me watching it.
It was much anticipated, I think, by Nick Cage fans. Mm-hmm. Nicolas Cage, he does not disappoint in this film because he chews up a lot of scenery, as he does in many other films. Mm-hmm. It's two movies almost. It's the first hour. Literally, the linchpin that holds these two segments together is right in the friggin' middle of the film.
Yep.
Like at 1 hour and 30 seconds, boop, they pull a linchpin. The first half of the movie, mystery, drama.
It's a build-up. It's a build-up of also the couple.
It's about the relationship between the couple, and then the cult shows up. The religious cult shows up, and they do their thing, and then like an hour in, poop, it becomes a completely different movie. It becomes that's when it becomes a horror,
action,
revenge, a lot of action, but it's a vengeance horror action thriller.
Yeah.
And there's in particular the second part of the movie, there's a lot of graphic.
A lot of gore.
A lot of blood.
Yeah.
Blood. Yeah. Copious amounts of blood. And but I will say this. Throughout the entire film, the cinematography is pretty excellent. Now there's some scenes that are really way too dark, but there's some a lot of the scenes are beautifully lit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In mostly an unnatural light, but it's and then there's other scenes that of the natural background. It basically takes place. The whole thing takes place in the woods. There's
landscape also. The landscape of
the beautiful landscape.
Beautiful landscape. Yeah. I felt like if you were to pause the movie, it was a painting or some type of picture.
There are parts of this film that are beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Then there's other parts that are in your face, body parts shooting out. It could have been in 3D for all the blood spurting and whatnot. It takes place in 1983. I mean, it was filmed just a couple years ago, but it takes place in 1983. So it's a little bit of a period piece. Nick Cage, actually, maybe you don't catch this, he is a lumberjack. At least at the start. And there's a couple things about this film. Nick Cage had just like separated or divorced from his wife of 14 years at that point when he started filming. And he says he probably put a lot of his rage and emotion from his real life into that character.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember there's one scene where there's a commercial on a TV?
Okay.
There's a commercial for macaroni and cheese.
Oh my god.
The Cheddar Goblin. Cheddar Goblin brand macaroni and cheese. It's a completely fictitious brand, but they made for this movie. And the horrible green goblin comes up behind these two children and starts vomiting macaroni and cheese on the kids. So they had a separate director for that. The commercial of Cheddar Goblin, which is shown in the movie on a TV in the movie, and they hired these two little kid actors. They got vomited on by this puppet with macaroni and cheese, which was not just macaroni and cheese. It also had pineapple soda and lemon jello mixed in for consistency and for the look of the mac and cheese on.
Tasty.
And it smelled like vomit. And these little kids were vomited on for 6 hours of filming for like a 10-second commercial. But if there's in some scenes you can see like a Cheddar Goblin box of mac and cheese on a shelf. The Cheddar Goblin's kind of taken on its own cult status. Yeah.
But, well, I will say, it was so irrelevant. I saw that and I was like, what does this do?
Yeah, it was irrelevant, pretty much.
Yeah.
$6 million budget.
Okay.
According to IMDb, which is should be updated by the production every now and then, it's only grossed $1.5 million so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In like 2 years, 3 years maybe.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's a loser in terms of money making.
Right.
But it's got a huge cult following.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I don't know, because it is visually pleasing. I can see this being one of those movies where you want to watch it because your friends told you to watch it.
You should all watch it just so they make their money back on the production.
Be kind.
There's people that like it. There's people that hate it, and there's a lot of people that don't understand it. I'm not 100% sure if you're supposed to understand it completely. Yeah. It's one of those movies that could be, by the time it ends, it could be interpreted a couple different ways.
Yeah. There's a lot of confusing moments of that movie. And also it's a very long movie, and I will say it's a bit of a slow, kind of offbeat, but also...
There's not a lot of dialogue either.
There's not a lot of dialogue.
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
The director has said on different occasions that this movie is about old age versus youth. To which I say, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
Where's the young kids?
And where's the really old people? They're all like the same age.
Yeah, every single one of them.
He's also said, separately, it's about the death of his parents. Now, I don't know how the director's parents died, but if it was like this, all I could say is it wasn't pretty.
Or human. What?
Other people have said, and this I agree with, this movie is about overcoming severe mental trauma.
Okay.
And maybe physical too, but really it's about mental trauma.
Right.
That I get.
I understand that, but also, is he really overcoming it? Or is he digging himself deeper into it?
Well, that's part of, you have to interpret this movie for yourself. If is he getting vengeance, or is he just coming to realize peace within himself? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
And you to determine how this movie winds up at the end.
Yeah.
Lines from the movie.
What's your favorite planet?
It's Uranus! I'm sorry.
The psychotic drowns where the mystic swims.
And he also says, you're drowning and I'm swimming.
It cuts through bone like a fat kid through cake.
It's pumpkin rating time. How many pumpkins? I'm pretty sure it's at least 2. How many are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it 4. 4 out of 5.
Okay, I'll pick up the 4th one.
Yeah.
Because I don't disagree.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's cup of tea. It leaves some people confused. There's some grossness and a lot of blood and brutality.
And psychoticness, psychosis, if you will, mental breakage.
Drug use.
Drug use.
But it's got a lot going for it.
Yeah, definitely.